have a quick recap of our last class. In our last class, we had seen what is foreign trade management. It is basically the transaction of goods and services between two countries. Now, because two countries are involved, the process is complex, and hence countries enter into certain contracts and agreements called as trade agreements. Trade agreements define the terms and conditions for doing business for the countries. Also, trade agreements provide a scope for dispute resolution which may arise during the business transaction. Benefits of foreign trade include economic growth and development, increase in employment opportunities, helps the countries to adapt to new technologies and processes from around the world and keep up to date, and it also helps the countries to provide more options and choices to satisfy consumer demands. On the one hand, where foreign trade has all these benefits, it's also the responsibility of the government to protect and promote the domestic players, because allowing many foreign products into the country may also destroy the domestic market. In order to do so, the government imposes certain restrictions in the form of tariffs, quotas, non-tariffs, anti-dumping duties, etc., which restrict the flow of trade. Such restrictions are referred to as trade barriers. Now, given this background, today we will see who are the parties who are involved in this international trade and also the government bodies who monitor the flow of trade. Let's get started. International trade involves manufacturing goods, transporting them across international borders, and making them available to the buyer at the right time. It involves many parties who are working together and closely to achieve this process. Each of them have a specific set of rules and responsibilities which they must perform without any errors or delays, and thereby helping in completing this process. Now, let us have a look at the parties involved in international trade. Let us assume a product is moving from country A to country B. The place where the product gets manufactured or produced is called as origin. Hence, country A here is the origin country. And the place where the product gets consumed or received is referred to as destination. Here, country B represents the destination. Also, in an international trade, when a product is leaving the international boundary, it is referred as an export. Hence, country A represents the export side. On the other hand, when a product is entering the international boundary of the country, it is referred to as an import. Hence, country B represents the import side. Now, our first party in the trade process is the seller or the manufacturer. Since the seller or the manufacturer is involved in the export of the product, he is also referred to as the shipper or an exporter. Similarly, since the buyer or the customer is involved in the import of the product, he is also referred to as a consignee or an importer. Next, the important party involved in the trade is the transporter, who offers services for transportation such as pickup and delivery within the country. The next important party of trade are the customs. Since the product is traveling between two international territories, we have the government authorities called as customs who monitor the trade. The other important party who make the international trade possible are the international transporters such as the shipping lines and the airlines. When the product is moving by sea, it is called as ocean shipment, and when the product is moving by air, it is called as air shipment. Here, we refer to this as carriage. Now, let us look at the roles and responsibilities of each party in detail. The first party in the trade process are the sellers. Sellers are companies who are engaged in the process of manufacturing or producing a commodity. Sellers can manufacture either finished products or intermediary products. Finished products are products which can be directly consumed by the consumers. However, intermediary products are goods such as semi-finished products or raw materials which are used by other companies in order to manufacture and complete a product. Sellers manufacture products to be sold in both domestic markets or international markets. Now let us see what are the key roles and responsibilities of sellers in the international trade. The key responsibilities of the seller include manufacturing and producing the goods to be sold in the market, pack Stamp the goods properly for the transportation by sea or air to avoid any kind of damage. Plan the mode of transportation keeping in mind the timelines and other criterias. For example, a manufacturer of toys in the US is planning to sell his products in the United Kingdom for Christmas. He should be planning which mode of transportation to be used, either sea or air, to achieve this timeline. If he misses out to choose the right mode of transportation, he may be losing out on the sales, and therefore it becomes important for the manufacturer to decide and plan on the mode of transportation. The next responsibility of the manufacturer is also to make the goods ready on time for transportation. Example, suppose the sailing schedule of the ship is on Wednesday. It's the responsibility of the manufacturer to keep the products ready well ahead of time. If he is going to delay the process, he is going to miss the sailing schedule of the ship, which in turn is going to delay the entire process. The next important responsibility of the manufacturer is to prepare all the necessary documents of trade and transportation, such as invoice and packing list, with the correct information and details as required. And lastly, the responsibility of the manufacturer is to complete all the necessary formalities for exporting the product out of the country. Buyers refers to companies who buy products from the sellers. In case if it is a finished goods, they sell directly in the market. In case if it is an intermediary goods, it will be used for further process of manufacturing. Now let us look at the key responsibilities of the buyer. The buyer is responsible for preparing the purchase order document, which confirms the purchase to the seller. The buyers are the parties who are responsible for paying the duties and taxes applicable on the imported products, and hence it becomes their responsibility to pay the duties and taxes on time to avoid any delay in the process. The buyers must keep the documents prepared and ready to be used for the import customs procedures. The buyers must also arrange for transportation for the delivery of the products if required. They must arrange for storage of goods if required. The buyers are responsible to check the quality and the quantity of the imported products, based on which they are also responsible to make the payment on time to the seller for the products that have been bought and imported. The next key party involved in the trade are the transporters. Transporters are companies who offer transportation services from one point to the other within a country. Now let us look at the key responsibilities of the transporters. The transporters are required to provide transportation services such as pickup and delivery depending on the customer requirement. Second key responsibility of a transporter is to take all necessary precaution for the safe transportation of goods from one point to the other without any damage. The third most important responsibility of a transporter is to deliver the goods on time without any delay. The transporter is also responsible for preparing the documents necessary for transportation. The transporter is also responsible to provide information on the status of the cargo to the parties involved. Example, the buyer and the seller, who should be aware of the movement of the cargo from point A to point B, which is the responsibility of the transporter. And the last, the transporter is responsible to follow all the handling processes. Example, if he is handling a dangerous cargo, he should be aware of the handling procedures to take care of the dangerous cargo. One of the most important parties involved in an international trade are the customs. Customs are government authorities who act as the guard of our international trade borders. Their main responsibility is to oversee the flow of trade and prevent a country from illegal trade practices. Let us also look at the key responsibilities of customs. The first responsibility of customs includes assessing and collecting customs duties and taxes as applicable. Depending on the government rules and regulations, customs authorities are responsible for collecting duties and taxes on the products that are traded internationally. As we have seen in our previous class about the duties and taxes such as tariffs anti-dumping duties, etc., they are collected by the customs authorities. The second responsibility of the customs is to safeguard and facilitate international trade. Customs are responsible to monitor the free flow of trade. The third responsibility of the customs is to prevent the country from any illegal trade practices. One of the main roles involves monitoring any illegal trade practice which may pose a threat to the country. They are actively engaged in identifying such practices and putting an end to maintain safety of trade. The next responsibility of customs is collection of revenue from trade. Through duties and taxes that are levied, customs authorities collect revenue for the government. The last important responsibility of the customs is to monitor overall flow of trade. They are responsible to monitor the flow of both imports and exports from a country. Carrier refers to the shipping lines and airlines who are responsible for the transportation of goods across international borders. First major responsibility of the carriers is to provide containers and space as necessary for transportation of goods. Since goods are transported through containers, it is the responsibility of carriers to provide the containers to manufacturers as and when required. The other responsibility of the carriers is to follow process for safe transportation of goods. As the cargo moves through sea and air, carriers have to ensure the safety of cargo and not cause any damage. The other responsibility of the carriers is to deliver goods on time without delay. Carriers are responsible to deliver on time as committed to avoid any interruptions and delay in the supply chain. Carriers are also responsible to prepare and issue all necessary documents of trade which are required for the transportation of goods. Carriers are also responsible to provide information on the status of the cargo while in transit. With this, we conclude our topic about parties and organizations involved in global trade.